Marc, could you describe Thomas Ammann, because you happen to meet him in the 70s?
Yes, I did meet him in the 70s in New York, early 70s, when he was still working with Bruno Bischofberger, and already was quite involved with the post-war American art, especially pop art and Warhol. And I do remember that at the time, I was with a friend of mine having lunch with him, on Madison Avenue next to, at the time called Sotheby Park Bennett, I remember. And I had a few times lunch with Thomas and James. And Thomas already was mentioning that he had the ambition to do the Warhol catalog resonate.
And you describe it as the Dorian Gray of the art market.
Yeah, he was really the style of a gentleman dealer with a very fine eye, extremely selective, and a great judgment of quality. He could as well have a masterpiece by Balthus, or have a fantastic Andy Warhol, a great Chambly, and at the same time he will show you a Van Gogh painting or a Cézanne still life, So he was this type of dealer, which really don't exist much anymore, except one or two of them left, who had really a look from 1840-50 Impressionist, Romantic art up to date, obviously having great knowledge on 20th century art. Also, quite involved with Picasso work.
And also with Cy Twombly. There's a big gap between
there were a close relation with Cy Twombly, which in fact did continue, from what I understand, after Thomas' disparition. We did continue through Doris Ammann, his sister.
And so you said it was a big loss for the art market because it could have been in the step of Beyeler.
Yes, he will have certainly rebound as one of the major dealers. He was already a major dealer on a very selective basis. He was not involved with the market just for trading, but really to chase, works of art and try to place in great collection. And we know his involvement for the major work that he sold to the Darrows Foundation.
And what do you think about the 200 million estimate for Warhol?
I think it's a legitimate estimate, and I think we could be surprised by the final hammer price.
Why is it legitimate?
Because this is an icon of the 20th century. We can see it. I'm not the first one to mention it, to be seen as a Mona Lisa of the 20th century, and it's an imposing image. And what is interesting, especially with his work of Warhol, obviously Warhol became extremely known because of the portrait of Marilyn Monroe, he will certainly be remembered, in reference to the Campbell Soup series. But perhaps if the memory of Marilyn Monroe is still so strong today, isn't it perhaps because of Warhol?
Bon, merci beaucoup.